Hi, this isn't a review so much as a revisitation of a couple of movies I saw recently. One is Caged, which was on TCM Noir with Eddie Muller, who gave a great introduction, told you all about stuff that I hadn't known, like the fact that none of the women in the movie wore makeup. That's pretty radical for the times. Um, to de-glamorize yourself on screen, that took some guts, I think. And I think it was a gutsy move by everybody involved to make this movie. Because something I noticed this time that I didn't really think about last time, there are a couple of things. First of all, these women are not um, necessarily hardened criminals, and yet they're involved in these criminal enterprises, mainly because they're trying to get by too. And so they have nothing good to say about men generally. On the whole, most of what you hear when they talk about men is, oh, men, they'll just take you the wrong way. They'll just lead you down the wrong path. I've never met a man that was any good for me, and all this kind of stuff. Things like that. Not always, but a lot. And in fact, the protagonist, can't think of her name offhand, unfortunately. The protagonist, a very sympathetically played person, really good actor. Um, anyway, she only got in prison because she was convicted of aiding and abetting, I guess, in a what turns out to be a felony murder. I think. No, it's just a robbery. That's right, it's just a robbery. Okay, so it's a robbery at gunpoint, I think. And but the thing is, her husband's dead now. It was her husband who was doing the robbery, and she was basically just trying to help him kind of keep control of the situation. She saw what was going on and tried to intervene in some way, to her detriment. So, presumably without means to get a Perry Mason lawyer who will get her off magically, or whatever. That's being a bit dismissive, but sorry. But I was just struck by how men adversely affect women in this movie. And then I thought about the term cage, the whole concept of it. Women in prison. Why are they in prison? Because they committed crimes. Why are they committing crimes? Because they need to eat. Um, their husbands haven't been around. They haven't been lucky enough to land Rosie the Riveter jobs. Or if they had Rosie the Riveter jobs, well, they're gone. It's post-war World War II. Film noir is a male reaction on the whole to the post-war home environment, which either felt stifling and conformist or felt discombobulating because they'd had to endure one thing. Now they were back to this so-called normal environment. So, yeah, imagine if you have a job in a factory. You're making good money. You're a woman. Your husband or boyfriend or whatever, your brother, whoever, is off fighting a war. You're praying that he won't be killed or maimed. All those things. You're suffering through rationing, but you're making it because you've got you've got a skill. You have a value to society, and you're contributing. All the guys come back home. The war's over. Well, we need jobs, said the soldiers, and women. Well, stay home. Stay home. We need jobs. Well, you can see how the 50s came along, how that happened, how the 60s were the way they were, with the huge emphasis on convenience, consumerism, spending, branding, Mad Men, all of it. So it created a narrative that didn't sit well with a lot of women. And that led to the 70s, really. And that's when really things started to change a little bit at the time. Very small increments, I have to tell you. And I think they're still changing. I think we still have a ways to go. Um, Having said that, let's go to the second movie. Death of a Cyclist. Okay, I wasn't able to make the group meeting. Sorry, guys. Something happened. I went to a book signing instead. Um, but yeah, I don't know what it was this time. I really felt close to the male figure in this one. I really could feel his the conflicted nature of what the decision he had to make. But I couldn't understand what he saw in the woman. In fact, I found her story tedious, boring. I found her to be tedious and boring. And apart from her obvious good looks, I thought, what does he see in her? There's nothing there. There's really nothing there. And the end is just laughable. I'm like, dude, she's getting in the car, you're standing by a fucking cliff, and what's going to happen next? Gee, I wonder. She going to run off with you to Timbuktu or Portugal or, I don't know, the south of France? Australia? Australia, yes. I don't know, man. I just couldn't get into the movie at all this time, except for the guy in the student situation. That one I really cared about. I wanted to know more about that. I wanted to know more about him. To me, she was just like typical film noir, femme fatale, dull. Sorry, just I can see why the question of Franco and all that came up. Must have missed a really interesting discussion. Everybody's talking about how interesting it is in these emails I'm getting. Oh well, sorry guys. Maybe we should start taping these things, recording these things. I have to stop myself from saying taping because no tape is involved in making this. No tape was involved in making this particular thing I'm doing right now. All right, that's it then. This is not much better than the first take I did of this, but I think I may go with it. All right, thanks. Be seeing you.